Hello, and welcome to my channel.
The former spy at the center of the Partygate controversy.
Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the latest news about the royal family.
Turned Prince Harry into an adversary and was given a demeaning moniker. The highest senior civil servant in the UK is Simon Case, who has been labeled the most important guy in politics you've probably never heard of. The influential but mostly unnoticed individual now serving as cabinet secretary has worked for 3 successive prime ministers and recently disputed Boris Johnson's assertions. In written testimony submitted to the Cross-Party Privileges Committee, Case denied assuring Johnson that COVID guidelines and procedures were always followed in No 10. Case became involved in the Matt Hancock WhatsApp leak controversy when he said, "I simply want to see some of the faces of individuals going out of first class into a Premier Inn shoebox," and inquired as to how many people had been locked up in quarantine hotels. He was really working for Prince William as his private secretary prior to becoming the most indiscreet man in government and a lockdown files casualty. A former co-worker at Kensington Palace claimed that Case accepted the position because it was a unique opportunity to work in such a top royal position.
Please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thanks.
And to satisfy his passion with the functioning of the British state. Case served as the heir to the throne's advisor, providing William with both practical and emotional support. The two are said to have gotten along well. He accompanied the Prince of Wales on high-profile outings, served as the household's head of staff, and was responsible for maintaining contact with the other royal houses. The choice by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to leave their roles as working royals and go to America caused the most uproar during his tenure as William's personal secretary. According to Harry, he did not get along with William's guy and called him the fly in his book Spare. While Case isn't stated, it is widely accepted that he is the fly because he served as William's personal secretary throughout the relevant times. Harry reveals in Spare that he has spent his whole life interacting with courtiers, but that today there are mostly only 3 middle-aged white guys who have consolidated power by a series of daring Machiavellian tactics. There is a strong insect motive since he also cites the bee and the wasp in addition to the fly. These are thought to be the codenames for Sir Edward Young, the late Queen's private secretary, and Clive Alderton, the late King Charles' private secretary. Deep down, Harry continues, I suspected that each man thought himself to be the one true monarch, that each was taking advantage of a queen in her 90s, enjoying his prominent position while just seeming to serve. Harry believes that all 3 of them thought he was at best irrelevant and at worst dumb. The bee and the wasp allegedly volunteered to assist the Duke of Sussex after hearing about his difficulties from them, but Harry insists nothing ever transpired. The fly is the only one, though, with whom Harry didn't want a meeting, and Harry was quite critical. The fly had been drawn to and had spent a large portion of his career near *****. Even though he acted differently, he enjoyed the offal of the government, the media, and wormy intestines. He became fat on it. Harry is the author. According to Harry, the fly wanted to appear carefree and above squabbles. It's not all bad, though. He does call William's advisor coolly efficient and always helpful. After leaving the palace, Case returned to Downing Street and worked for Johnson, making it 3 distinct prime ministers that he had served. But other issues, notably the Hancock WhatsApp leak earlier this month, have hurt Case's reputation. The head of the civil service cautioned that during the epidemic, British would not pay attention to Johnson, who was nationally distrusted. Mr. Hancock adds in texts that were obtained to the Telegraph, I'm going to get involved and spearhead this rollout. On this, the PM is 100% correct. Dictate, dictate, dictate. According to Mr. Case, who is in agreement, while we have figured out how to test, we are unsure of how to persuade individuals to isolate. We must change our behavior because it is why we are losing this war, which sadly also depends on people hearing about isolation from trusted local figures rather than from nationally despised figures like the PM. Yes, but even with a giant rocket up them, Mr. Hancock responds, the vehicles won't roll until late next week, so we can adjust the new isolation regulations before then. Mr. Case said in June 2020 that keeping Mr. Johnson focused on daily case counts keeps him honest. When the leaked messages showed that the head of the civil service had made jokes with ministers about putting travelers in hotel quarantine, he came under fire. When travelers coming back to the UK were confined to government hotels, Mr. Hancock stated in February 2021 that they planned on giving huge families all the big suites and placing pop stars in the box rooms. I simply want to see some faces of folks going out of first class into a Premier Inn shoebox, Mr. Case retorted. A few days later, he inquired as to the number of individuals who had been locked up in motels the day before. Mr. Hancock answered, none. Yet 149 people voluntarily decided to enter the nation and are currently staying in hotels under quarantine. Mr. Case responded, hilarious, to which,
Thank you for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you liked it. And also write your opinion in the comments. It will be very interesting for me to read them. I hope your day will be wonderful.